For some reason, I seem to be starting a whole lot of my videos like this, but let me say this again. The following video that you are about to watch is going to offend some people. So if you're offended, I apologize in advance. However, as I always say, I have always promised to be 100% real with you guys, and this video will be no different. Stay tuned. Okay, so as you guys know, the United States Armed Forces or whatever supposedly found and killed Osama Bin Laden this week. Now, a lot of my fellow YouTube bloggers have done a reply video to this. I've been intending to do it all week, but this has been a little bit of a hectic week. I'll talk more about that on my other channel, youtube.com/eastsidesfinest, where you will see the Lily A Show extras. Moving right along, they had a firefight, killed him and some members of his family, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, personally, and here goes the part where a lot of people are not going to like this, I think that is complete and total bullshit. Secretly hoping the CIA is not going to come pick me up. But I think it's complete bullshit. I find it odd that we find Osama Bin Laden after 10 years ago. There was a terrorist attack, and I say that with quotation marks for a reason because I'm going to get to that too. But there was a terrorist attack, and before you knew it, we had gone into this so-called war, because I don't know how you can fight a war against a guerrilla army, which seems to be kind of what it is. But whatever. But we go to war with this guerrilla army, or these insurgents, these whatever you want to call them. Taliban, that's the word I was looking for. And we find Saddam Hussein because he has weapons of mass destruction. At what point did Saddam Hussein have anything to do with this? Like, Osama Bin Laden blew up the World Trade Centers and Pentagon and crashed Flight 93. Why were we looking for Saddam Hussein? For the weapons of mass destruction that we never found. Go figure. I don't know. Okay, but now, 10 years later, when morale is at its lowest, when President Obama is getting ready to start campaigning for re-election, we miraculously and suddenly find Osama Bin Laden and kill him. Here's where the story gets strange. After 10 years of looking for someone who did such a horrible deed to the United States, we bury him at sea. Before you say it, the government said that they did it because they wanted to honor his religious beliefs. Frankly, dears, baby dolls, since when does the United States give a fuck about anybody's religious beliefs? Really? Since when do they seem to care anything about that? Except for gay marriage, because, you know, everybody's a Christian then. But otherwise, there's a separation of church and state, and that tends to drive most of the religious, you know, tomfoolery that would go on in Congress if not for that law. But we kill the #1 most wanted man in the country, and we bury him at sea. And then the government debates about whether or not they should release photographic evidence of the killing, fearing that it may damage the morale of the United States or cause further problems in the Middle East. Now, I've never been a politician, but I think that, I really think that if there was going to be a problem with the Middle East, it would have happened when you killed him, if he ever existed in the first place. I just think it's bullshit. I just don't understand why there would be any hesitation to prove to the United States people that you killed the person who is responsible for these horrible terrorist attacks. Okay. Earlier I said I was going to get to why I use terrorist attacks in quotation marks. Yes, 9/11 is a stain on the history of the United States. It's one of the most terrible things that have ever happened to this country. Please understand me. I am not taking away from that. I do believe that. I remember I was in detention. Don't judge me. I was in detention when the first plane hit the towers, and my entire school sat in awe of what we were seeing. It was truly disturbing. And I want to say before I go into this that if you did lose someone in the 9/11 attacks, from the bottom of my heart, you have my deepest sympathies, and I am sorry for your loss. Sorry that it's come so far out or so late after the event, but you have my deepest condolences. Now, that the formalities are over with, I think that after watching this video called Loose Change, if you search Loose Change, the final cut, just type that into YouTube, it will take you to the page where the entire video is available for viewing. But what it does is it breaks down some of the anomalies during the terrorist attacks. There's a lot of different photographic evidence of 9/11, and it just goes through some of the things that are odd, some of the things that were captured by video, and some of the things that weren't. One of the main things was the size of the hole in the side of the Pentagon. It was like 20 feet wide. I have never seen an airplane that was 20 feet wide. Never. Nor have I seen, out of the many plane crashes that you've seen on TV, don't you normally see debris? Like pieces of plane, tail portions and engines and stuff laying around everywhere. None of that was present at the Pentagon. Not to mention the cameras that should have been facing the Pentagon from the Department of Transportation should have captured the plane flying into the building. All you saw was that. Since when does the most heavily guarded building in the United States take video in time-lapse form? The government does some stupid things, but I highly doubt that that's one of them. Come on. And jet fuel doesn't get hot enough to melt steel, so why did the World Trade Centers collapse? And finally, and this is really the short list because I could go on and on and on, but if you were on a plane that was about to crash because it had been hijacked, and you were going to call the one family member that you could get in touch with, the first thing that you would say would not be your first and last name. Example, oh my God, mommy, hello, mama, this is Christian Lillier. Would you say that? And just be honest with yourself, would you actually say that? Right. But I digress. I'm not going to go there because I don't want to piss too many people off, and I really don't want the CIA to come get me. But Loose Change is available. It's called Loose Change. I'll put the link at the bottom of the video so you can watch it for those of you who are interested, because a lot of people that I know have watched it, and it was a very enlightening experience for them. So I invite you to do that. Now, in support of my president, who I do love, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but it was a C-SPAN video at the White House, some kind of White House dinner. And as you know, President Obama released his birth certificate, the long form, so that everybody could see that he was born in the United States. And everybody knows that Donald Trump was the ringleader of all the foolishness. Baby. So after his release of the birth certificate or whatever, excuse me, I'm tripping. There was a dinner at the White House, or for the White House people, constituents or something like that. I think it was a constituents dinner. But he got up on stage and he was like, okay, those of you who don't know, I released my birth certificate in long form so that people would stop questioning, blah, blah, blah. But I really hope this puts all of your worries and fears to rest. But just in case it doesn't, for the first time in 50 years, I'm going to show you my birth video. And he looks up at the screens. And when I tell you Lion King comes on, and the whole room hollered. So he comes back and he's like, so much for that. Oh, by the way, for the Fox News table, that was a joke. That is a children's cartoon. And if you don't believe me, call Disney. They have the long form version. And he proceeds to roast Donald Trump. Then one of the dudes from Saturday Night Live gets up. And when I tell you he gave Donald Trump the last roast, oh my God, it was absolutely friggin' hilarious. You have got to check it out. So I'll put the links to that video at the bottom. I just kind of wanted to share a few of my views with you guys. If you guys want to hear more, I'll do a longer video or whatever, because this could go for a while. But I did just want to put that out there. As always, you can follow me on Twitter. And if you haven't checked out my other YouTube page, which is youtube.com/eastsidesfinest, please feel free to do that. And as always, I love you guys. Smooches. And deuces.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come.